Welcome back, everybody, to 31 2000s horror movies for Halloween, where I'm counting down my favorite horror movies from 2000 to 2009. So after we had a rather depressing, disturbing movie in the number 20 spot, at the number 19 spot we have a much more fun horror movie. One of the best horror anthology movies to ever watch, one of the best horror movies to watch around Halloween. At number 19 we have Trick or Treat. Yeah, Trick or Treat. It's an anthology horror movie, and it's a good anthology horror movie. It's one of those movies where all the stories are happening during the same night in the same town, and they're all connected together in one way, shape, or form. But, like, one story flows into the other, and then flows into the other, and flows back to this one, and, like, all the stories connect in one way or another, which makes it a very, very fun anthology horror movie. So Trick or Treat was a movie that did not get a lot of advertisement when it first came out, did not get any attention for theaters or anything like that, but then when it came onto DVD, it became a huge cult following, and everybody was mad that the people who released this movie didn't put it in theaters, and then the production companies were kicking themselves for not putting this movie in theaters.
But don't forget to open with the eyes!
So yeah, it's an anthology horror movie. You have 5 stories happening around Halloween, each one with a Halloween theme. Our main villain of this movie, the Crypt Creeper-esque character, the person leading us into the stories, the mascot for this movie, is this character named Sam. He's this little guy with a mask, like a burlap sack over his face, and he's sort of like the guardian of Halloween. If you don't follow through with the Halloween traditions, he will punish you in one way or another. And it's just him leading us through these stories until we get to the 5th story in the movie, where he is the main antagonist of it. But you have 5 different stories here. One story involving principal turned serial killer. You have another story involving these ghosts that died in a bus crash, like these kids playing a prank on a girl involving these ghosts in a bus crash. You have this one story involving werewolves. Another story that involves Sam dealing with this, the Ebenezer Scrooge of Halloween. And there's plenty that's going on in this movie. Like I said, it's just so much fun to watch. It's the perfect Halloween movie, I think. I mean, as much as I love John Carpenter's Halloween, I think this is a better movie to watch around Halloween. I think Trick or Treat and Halloween 3 are some of the best horror movies to watch around Halloween because they have perfect Halloween atmosphere. You watch these movies, like this movie especially, there is so much Halloween here. Like, the movie takes place on Halloween. There are jack-o'-lanterns all over the place, Halloween decorations all over the place, costumes all over the place.
Yeah. Trick or treat!
Aren't you guys adorable?
Thanks, Mrs. Henderson. That's a great costume.
I know.
Each segment oozes Halloween and has something to do with the Halloween season, either involving trick-or-treaters, costume parties. There's just so much good stuff in here. My favorite segment is the werewolf segment, because there are great transformations here. The werewolves during this segment are literally ripping their skin off to reveal the werewolf underneath them. It's great stuff. And I do appreciate how each story weaves into the other. There are things that connect one story to the other. There are things that happen in one story that you see later on in another story. So like, oh, this happened at the same time as this one. Okay, so these all have some kind of connection here.
What in God's name are you doing down there, Wilkins? Huh? Hiding bodies? What'd you say?
Like, it's definitely one of the most fun movies, and Sam is a great mascot for this movie. He became a horror icon not long after this movie, and he's a perfect mascot for Halloween. He's a perfect horror icon for Halloween. I mean, Michael Myers, yes, he is like the horror icon that is like Halloween related, but if you want to think like, whereas Michael Myers is the Halloween boogeyman or the Halloween mascot. Sam is the Halloween mascot. It's like you see this kid, it's like, yes, he's the perfect character for a Halloween-based horror movie. The director, Michael Dougherty, went on to direct Krampus, which is another great holiday-themed horror movie. I think it's a great Christmas horror movie, one of my favorites. So he's really good with holiday-themed horror movies. I know he wanted to make a sequel to Trick or Treat, and I know he wanted to make a sequel to Krampus, but I don't know if those are ever going to happen. I hope we get them eventually. But Halloween is just such a perfect holiday for anthologies, because you can have so many different stories involving Halloween, so many different stories involving something that has to do with Halloween. You could have a story about witches, vampires, werewolves, zombies if you want to, ghosts, goblins, all these things. So I do hope we get another Halloween anthology from Michael Dougherty. I hope we get a Trick or Treat too. There's another great Halloween anthology that came out in 2015, so it couldn't make the list, but it's called Tales from Halloween, and it's a bunch of independent filmmakers making their own segments. Really, really good, really fun stuff. Each one various lengths, but that's a good one too. But, so in terms of Halloween anthologies for Halloween, Trick or Treat and Tales from Halloween, they would make a perfect double feature. But yeah, if you just want a horror movie for the Halloween season that feels like the Halloween season, go with Trick or Treat. If you want to watch a horror movie on Halloween, Trick or Treat might be the best horror movie to watch on Halloween, at least from the 2000s. If you want that Halloween feel, if you want a horror movie that is a Halloween movie. Trick or Treat, it reminds us why we love Halloween. It's a fantastic anthology with great characters. It's just overall fun. That's the best way to describe it. It's just fun.
My, what big eyes you have.